Welcome back. Now to tech.
Aris, powering your digital world.
Yeah, we all know that Israel really is a desert country, but somehow all of the greatest inventions in terms of the water industry are coming out of Israel, and scientists delivering a surplus of water not only here but also abroad. And we're very happy to have our very own Vili Abraham here, and live with the founder of Soapy, Max Simonovsky. Hello and welcome to the show. We've been talking about this for a long time. Vili comes on twice a week, and we've discussed how Israel is really paving the way, in drinkable, potable, clean water. How are we seeing such a huge growth?
Okay, well, first of all, here in Israel we have a lot of desalination plants, and one of the reasons is because we've been a very dry country all throughout history, and that's why our founding fathers, they've built the first desalination plant in Eilat, even back in the 60s. In the last crisis in 2008, there was a really severe shortage of water, and that's why there are 5 desalination plants operating here in the country, and they're all privately held companies, and one of them is ID Technologies. And by the way, they operate all around the world in 40 countries. They have 400 plants all around the world, and they help create a lot of water to people. I mean, there are about 700 million people who don't have clean water, access to clean water. And in the future, in about 10 years, we'll have almost 2 billion. So can you imagine, about 25%
Wow, so it's going to be more than double.
Yeah, exactly.
Much more than double.
And by the way, this company has helped California deal with its drought. They built a plant in South California a few years ago in 2015. They're also helping countries in different places, like in India as well.
Fantastic. So, first of all, with such a history of desalination, so, first of all, so tell us about Soapy and why, how it's different from some of the other, the other innovations happening in the water world.
So imagine yourself for a second that you're coming back home, right, and you want to eat, but you can't wash your hands. Or you're coming out of the toilets, but you can't wash your hands. And the thing is, it will continue to what just Vili said. More than 2.4 billion people around the globe living in this environment day to day. Billions of people are dying and getting morbidity because of diseases caused by something so preventable like hand hygiene.
So how did you come up with this idea and make it happen?
So it was not my idea, to be honest. It was my son's.
Yeah. Of course, they're smarter than we are.
He is the real entrepreneur here. But we came back home. He's 5 years old right now, but it was 2.5 years back. And he just decided that he don't need to wash his hands because we don't have water at home. We just had a shortage of water because there were some infrastructures building in, repairing down the street. And he said, we don't have water. That means it's not important. I don't need to wash my hands. That's it. And from that, we started research, brainstorming, and trying to understand what is the problem, how we can solve it.
So what is the main mission of what you do, and how is it different from, other organizations in the water industry?
First of all, we are a for-profit organization, and what we have decided is to develop an autonomous station that can deliver hand hygiene everywhere, all around the globe. For that, we need to create the right amount of water, the right amount of soap, and deliver it very simply. So the system creates water out of the air. We deliver soap in a very specific way, very accurately, and the children, they don't need to use any buttons, any valves, any pedals, nothing. They're just reaching with their hands, and the cycle is accurately calculated by the machine itself.
So what does it explain? Is it like a device that's put into these different villages, and it just works just on its own?
Exactly.
How big is it?
It's 160 centimeters height, 60 centimeters wide, but the thing is, it's very simple. You can just deploy it in every village. For example, the pilot that we executed a few months ago, it was deployed in a deprived village without any infrastructure for a school of 300 children, and we covered their needs for day to day through the pilot, and they didn't have toilet, water, drinking water, nothing.
So how does the technology work that it's able to create, safe drinking water from the sky?
So it's very simple. It's the same idea as rain created, right? So we just need to change the thermodynamics inside the air, and then the humidity just form into liquid, and we collect it in the right way. The question after is how to use it in the right way. So for example, if you want to drink, you need 2 liters a day. How much you need for hand washing?
That's a good question. How much?
So the average is between 2 to 5 liters.
Wow, that much?
Yeah. So, yeah, but for
I
one,
can't even drink that much. I can't drink that much a day, no matter how hard I try.
and imagine this is for one cycle. So
Right.
one time you wash your hands, 2 to 5 liters went. With our system, we like minimize it to 95% less. And with
So-
one system, we can reach to 200 children.
Fantastic. All right, so Vili, listen, we see this all the time. What do you think of SOPI and what they're doing?
I think it's really wonderful because there are a lot of kids who are dying due to hygienic reasons, and not only in India but also in Africa. So I really think I was really fascinated by this, especially the combination between water and soap. Being able to do this because with desalination plants that you have here, you can only supply fresh water, drinkable water, but it's not something that you can use, to wash hands in places where there is no access
Right.
to soap or clean water.
Right.
So I think it's really wonderful.
And
Really
so,
is.
it's so interesting because, I just can't believe how many different, innovations there are in the water space. I mean, where is the future? Where does Israel, stack up in the future as we develop more?
Well, if we're looking here in the country, so I would say there would probably be more desalination plants. But right now, they're not thinking about this too much. We wanted to do a project together with Jordan and the Palestinian Authority in order to desalinate water, supply to them, and use the salt from the salinated, coming from the plant, and bring it back to the Dead Sea, which is losing a lot of salt.
Exactly.
So right now,
that
we're
would be a
pretty
good
good.
solution.
Right now, we're a country that has more water than it needs. Fortunately.
How does this happen, yet the state of California is...
Well,
how does this happen?
It's a combination of a few things. So first of all, we're using drip irrigation. We're using water recycling, treatment of wastewater. 86% of water that goes down the drain is recycled. That's amazing. That's more than...
Why haven't other countries been able to pull this off?
I think it's because of technology. I think that Max probably can explain more than me, but I think it's a technology that they don't have.
I think it's not only that, it's also the approach. If you heard about the shortage that they had in Sao Paulo, what they're having now in Cape Town, they even had some problems around London because the idea is that you have water, you just need to connect to it. But the usage of water is getting bigger from day to day. You have more people, you have more usage of water, you have more infrastructure and
More
plants
wasted water.
and wasted water. So it's starting with our fathers here in Israel with the understanding of we don't have water, and what we have, we need to use it wise. And we have it over here. And in other countries, I think it's the approach together with the technology. You need to combine both of them.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for coming in, and Vili, we'll see you on Friday.
Yes, thank you.
Eris, powering your digital world.
Coming up next, the story of the formation of Israel in 1948.